Hello, it's Chaplin73, and you're joining me today for another interview on my YouTube channel. Hello, everybody. And I'm joined today by the artist Donna Poingdestre, who is also known as Winnie May. Hello.
Hello, hiya.
How you doing? You all right?
Yeah, not bad.
Good,
Yeah, good to speak to you at last. I know we've missed each other a little bit over the last few weeks, but we've made it happen. I'm actually in North Wales on the tail end of a holiday in an Airbnb above a gallery that stocks my work. So that's quite nice.
Fabulous. So first question is just an opportunity for you to tell the audience who you are, what it is you do, and where you are usually based. Obviously you're on holiday at the moment, so.
Okay. So yeah, my name's Donna Poingdestre. So in some bits of the art world, I'm known as Donna Poingdestre, but also when I do a little bit of daubling on walls, Winnie May, and sometimes those names interlink. So Winnie May was actually my nan's name. She kind of was a huge part of bringing me up when I was little, and her name was Winifred May. So that's why I'm called Winnie May.
My nan was called Winifred as well.
Oh, was she? Yeah. So
yeah.
I actually saw a steam engine the other day called Winifred as well in Wales. So that was good. So yeah, the lovely Winifred May. So that's why I'm Winnie May. So what is it that I do? So I did do an art degree years ago, back in the late 80s, at Portsmouth Art College. I was at Portsmouth Art College, and then I went on to Portsmouth Uni. But then I was always remained interested in art, but brought up kids, social work, youth work, drug and alcohol work, went to art exhibitions and kept a sketchbook, and did the odd bit of art work via my work, you know, with youth work needed an art project. I was the first one to put my hands up, but didn't actually start painting. In fact, I did 3D design and cultural theory, so I didn't even paint at art college. So I started painting about 5 or 6 years ago, kind of a bit by accident, redundancy, long-term marriage breakdown, child became ill, and stopped myself going mad. I started painting. So, and then that kind of rolled, and then I got an exhibition, got to be part of a couple of collaborative exhibitions, then got a solo show at Play Dead in Southsea, and then one in Brick Lane, and it kind of snowballed really. So I paint predominantly, I say currently because there's a bit more to this story, portraits, and that's in a mixture of spray and traditional, but I tend, even if I'm painting on big walls, I tend to towards rollers and big brushes. It's more of a contact kind of painting for me. The occasional bit of spray for bits of effect or getting big blocks of colour up, but I tend to be a contact wall person, or the surface. So yeah, I work small scale for galleries, and the odd bit of street art. I've been lucky enough to paint in New York and Mexico and London and bits and pieces, so that's been fun. Where am I based? Well, I'm from Portsmouth, love Portsmouth, but I'm currently living in London because I'm just about to do the second year of my Masters in Fine Art at Central St Martin's. So in London currently, but with a view to move back to my beloved Portsmouth and Southsea next year.
How are you finding doing your Masters after you've already started your art career, if you know what I mean? You know, you've already got your style.
I guess, you know, like I said, I've only been painting sort of 5 or 6 years. I wanted to nail portraiture. I did a lot of landscapes back in the day, and life drawing, and attended life drawing when I was, you know, when my children were little, and I wanted to nail portraiture. And I guess that's what I've kind of become known for now. But it was starting to feel a bit formulaic to me, and I wanted to find why am I doing this? What am I doing it for? It's not navel. It sounds a bit navel gazing. I wanted to kind of go and unravel myself a little bit and find it and poke around in some I ran away to the circus age 50. I wanted to go off and play and get unraveled and put myself back together as an artist. And I took a punt on one of the big boy colleges and got in. So it's interesting, it's challenging. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I decided to just go and have a little bit of a question myself, unravel, put myself back together and see what that looks like artistically. And be up for the fact that I may not come out a painter.
And you're in year 2 now, did you say?
Just about to start year 2, yeah.
So have you found that it's impacted the work that you've been producing? Or?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, in many ways, because of lockdown, we had to, we've had. Mm-hmm. I've been lucky. Some of my peers haven't even arrived in the country, even from last year. So I have had some time in my studio, sometimes the workshop's limited, obviously, because of COVID. But I left 2 studios in Portsmouth. I used to be part of the Fire Monkeys at the Hot Walls, and I had a little studio at home. And I've now moved to a flat with a spare room, which is a spare room, so it's not a constant studio. In and out of my studio's archway, even when I'm allowed to, working on the kitchen table. So my work had to change dramatically.
Yeah.
I've even been playing around with video work, which I kind of signed up for it and then panicked to my lecturer and said, "What am I doing?" And he said, I can barely send an email attachment. I'm being a bit flippant, but it's not far off. And really been like enjoying doing that. It's opened me up. It's made me work a little bit more insular. I started doing a lot more writing. I've done some people have seen it. I've done 100 days of left-handed drawings. I'm right-handed, but I've done 100 days of left-hand drawing because I just needed to create something each day. And so I did these little challenges. So it has changed my work because of COVID and because of the space I have to work, but also my peers that I'm around are, some of them don't even have an art background. They're come from psychology degrees or it's fascinating. It's fascinating, the kind of crazy soup of people that St. Martin's brings together. So yes, it's definitely changing me, for definite.
Fab. So who or what has influenced your style of art?
Okay. When I was a kid, and why I went to art college, and why I started painting again a couple of years ago. So I know it saves me. It's kind of my place of flow. It's my place of, I don't think about anything else when I'm painting or creating or drawing or writing. So a place of stillness influences it. I'm a child of the 70s and 80s. That's why I paint, boys with makeup on and pretty girls with big red lipstick. I'm definitely a girl of the 80s, Give me a boy in eyeliner. So that's why I love all that. So definitely a girl of the 80s, like the kind of Blitz kids, post-punk.
New romantic.
I like the new romantic era. I like all that kind of imagery. I also remember being completely I remember being blown away, like Goya, the Masters and Turner. Also people like Robert Rauschenberg, who do sculpture and film and choreograph and you sometimes there is a kind of a thing about hone your craft and learn what you do and do it again and again and again really well, but also I think sometimes my brain explodes a bit too much, and it's kind of like, hey, when I first saw his work, it's like, well, why can't you do what you're thinking and feeling? Does it have to be limited to one art form? So someone like Robert Rauschenberg, and there's oh god, I know I'm going to get off of this and go, why didn't I say so and so and so and so and so? There's too many artists and people whose work makes me dribble a bit.
I know exactly what you mean. I think I'd be there all day listing all my
if I ever thought that. Can yeah, can we book another 4 hours in while I have a think?
So what advice would you give somebody about developing a creative practice?
Just do it. You know, we're our biggest critics, and just do it. I treat it like a job. I allocate time sessions, and even if I'm staring at a bit of paper, which is rare, even if it's just draw with my left hand, which I quite often do, which I've got historically done as a kind of a warm-up practice, even if I'm just chopping up a magazine. I don't look at the internet when I'm working. I play, I pick up materials I wouldn't normally work with. You know, this is if I'm getting a bit stuck, but just do it. Prep a canvas and just let your brain mull over. Expose yourself to, this is just how I know it works for me. I know that a podcast or a sentence in a song or a conversation with someone or an image can spark me. I feel like I'm like a magpie. So just look at everything. Don't just think of it. If you're a painter, just don't think of it in terms of artists, but also by the same token, get to as many exhibitions as you can. And if you are a painter, open your mind a bit to watching performance art, and that there's always something that will just kind of begat and spark something else. And sometimes it is like having a box of magpie moments back here that you pull out weeks or months or years later. So expose yourself, keep doing it. Enjoy the happy accidents. I have so many accidents, and then I go, oh my God, how do I recreate that? That was a bit good, even though that was total fluke. So yeah, enjoy the happy accidents, and expose yourself to as much as you can, and just keep doing it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm the same. If ever I get stuck, I just pull out an art book or something and just have a look through it, and something else will jump out of the pages that you haven't noticed before, and you go, oh, actually, you know, there's an idea, there's a little
a colour, a shape, anything just sometimes sparks something, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And I use a lot of words in my art, so I you know, it can be, like you say, it could be a song lyric, or, you know, something you read on the side of a bus or something. You know, it can be anything.
Exactly.
Even somebody else's graffiti that somebody's written in a pen on a table or something. You know.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I quite like that. I can do something with that. But yeah.
I also like the Bill Geisen technique, and the Dadaist used it as well. And I've been doing a lot of that lately. So I do the morning pages where you write not without thinking, but you have to keep the pen moving. It's like a brain dump. And then some of the books I read, like chopping those words up and mixing up, and, you know, David Bowie, lots of people have that, but kind of that, there's a randomness, but there's a creativity. So with that as well. So yeah, that's something I've been playing with.
Yeah, I've got a tub somewhere lying around in the shed full of words that I've cut out of books that I quite often get out and just move around and, you know.
Yeah.
Have a play with, see what I can come up with. You know. But yeah, it's a great way to get your brain whirring creatively. If you could spend 24 hours with a famous artist, past or present, you've got a time machine now, you can go back in time if you want to. Who would it be, and what would you do for the 24 hours?
Oh, that this is a hard one. Oh, again, but it's gonna have to be. It's gonna have to be Leonardo da Vinci.
Right. Yeah.
Well, Italy, wine, contraptions, science. Clever, interesting, big brain.
Yeah, the
man.
Genius.
We'd drink wine and we'd make contraptions and throw ourselves off of cliffs and over water in them. And he teach me how to nail painting hands. My nemesis. So yeah, I think that's probably what I'd do. I'd go back and have a good old natter with Leonardo.
Sounds like a plan. Yeah, I think that would be a very interesting 24 hours, definitely.
It would, wouldn't it?
The guy had such varied interests. You know, like you were saying earlier about, you know, you don't just stick to one thing, painting. You quite often stray into other areas of creativity. I'm the same, you know. I do amateur dramatics. I do prop making for an amateur dramatics group. I do 3D stuff.
Oh,
I
do
do
you?
painting.
Oh, but that's fun.
I just like to do stuff with my hands, and sometimes painting doesn't give you that satisfaction that making something three-dimensional does, if you know what I mean. So
I totally get that, and it's going to sound so, but I love a bit in crochet, you know, and a bit of hammer beads, you know, just a bit whatever, like that, making, that doing, and cooking, and I'm a carpenter's daughter, so I love a bit of hammer and nails as well. And
well, I'm lucky enough to have this shed that I'm in at the moment, which is my studio. And then sort of like there's a wall there with a door that goes through to a workshop, which has got all my woodworking tools in as well, so I can cut things up and chop things around.
Oh, envious. Shed envy.
But I mean, it's taken me many years to get a shed this size, and I'm very reluctant to move house now. So.
Yeah.
My wife keeps talking about moving house, and I'm like, no. Not unless I can take my shed.
Not unless the shed comes. Me or the shed.
Finally, last question. What's in store for the future? Have you got any projects that you're currently working on or planning that you could share with us today?
I do. I've got a collaborative show in Old Portsmouth with Rue Abrook, another South Sea based artist. We've got a collaborative show on the 24th, 25th and 26th of September. It's going to be a little bit different than people expect from us. We've decided to have a play, and again, don't go down that route of what do we actually fancy doing, and what ideas have we kind of had because we started working together a little bit recently,
right?
Even though we've known each other for years, we thought, you know, when we kind of had conversations about you know, the underbelly of our work and chatting, we've realized there's some common ground and we spark each other. So we said, why don't we do an exhibition that kind of plays with that, you know, and I don't know if our work's necessarily going to be recognizable to people. I think it will, but that's not why we're doing it. It's a bit for us. But I think people will like it. So we got that on the go. And then I'm currently in the middle of, sorry, someone poking their nose in the door. And then I'm currently, like I said, going back to uni. So I'm currently in the middle of writing my research paper, which has to underpin my work. So saying to you earlier about these different practices, I think there might be a bit of video, but I think at the moment, I change my mind all the time. I think at the moment my work is going to remain painting, but my painting is going to shift. There's going to be more of a narrative aspect to my painting.
Right.
So I'm going to carry on being a painter, but it's going to look a little bit different. So I think that's pretty much going to be keeping me pretty busy for the next year.
Well, I think the second year of your masters is going to be quite tough anyway, isn't it? Quite a lot of work.
Yeah. So that's this year's plan, to take over the universe.
And then you moving back to Portsmouth? Yeah,
then hoping to move back to Portsmouth as soon as I can. Yeah.
Lovely. Well, I'm hoping to get to Portsmouth again, Southsea again, at some stage in the future. So maybe we could meet up and have a coffee.
Oh, I'd love to, because we had that very. I was working at Paul's exhibition, wasn't I? And it was a bit of a hello, goodbye. but yeah. Let's do 4D people.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate you're on holiday, but you've still given up your time for me to do the interview. So that was really very much appreciated.
No worries. Thank you, and thanks for your patience. And we collided at last, my friend.
No worries. Thank you very much. And if you like what you've heard and seen today, then please hit the subscribe button below. I will be interviewing many more artists over the coming months. So please just hit the subscribe button, and then you'll get to know about all the interviews as they come along. I'll say thank you to Donna once more. Thank you. And thank you to everyone for listening and tuning in. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks.